33. I just turned
33.
33
Congrats.
like 3 weeks ago,
Nice.
or actually a
Congrats.
month ago. Yeah.
Congrats. So you fight welterweight, right?
Yes.
12 fights, 12 wins, 5 losses, and 0 draws. And you're number 10 pro welterweight in Florida, right? That's what I saw in Topology.
I guess. I
That's
haven't
good,
looked in
man.
a little bit.
Yeah. Where do you train?
I train at Fusion Xcel.
Oh, so you're in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm in the Orlando area.
Oh, me too.
Oh, you're in Orlando?
Yeah. I'm in Lake
Okay.
Nona.
Like no. Okay, so a little bit of a hike, but
Yeah.
still pretty close.
Yeah, that's cool. So tell me a little bit about your background first, and then how you got into martial arts and eventually into MMA.
Yeah, so really I've been into martial arts since I was a kid. Granted, I didn't start training my first martial arts until 11 years old. And it was a martial art, it was a Korean martial art called Hapkido. I think it was Korean. And it's like supposed to be like a mix of like some Taekwondo and Aikido and stuff, but I was really just excited to be able to spar, you know? That was always what I wanted to do, like technique and sparring. So I did that. I was only able to do that for 1 year before we had to move, and I didn't get to do any martial arts until I graduated from high school, and that was judo. And I did judo for 3 years. But my senior year in high school, I wrestled for one season. Was able to make varsity. Had to wrestle off against somebody, so I was always proud of that because he had wrestled the season before, and it's like I had to wrestle for my position, but pretty much during that time, like kind of a little bit before my senior year, I think 10th grade, I started watching UFC a lot because I was going to the gym, exercising. And you remember when they used to have it on Spike TV? If
Yeah.
you're, yeah, I used to watch UFC Reloaded. So that was kind of where I really started getting into MMA outside of like fighting in school, like slap boxing, fighting in bathrooms, sometimes getting into it in class. But I wasn't a disruptive student or anything like that, but definitely fighting in like the gym, in the gym locker room area and bathrooms happened quite a few times. But I just always like the idea of knowing how to fight. So the interest was always there, and I wanted to learn. I was always a martial artist. I felt like even though I wasn't in martial arts, I would practice in my backyard sometimes or in my room just throwing kicks, practicing katas I've seen, just stuff like that. So that's really where I got my interest. And so yeah, after high school, I like a few months after, like I think late 2010, 2011, I started doing judo, and then I started doing kickboxing and just started competing in each singular sport until I finally did MMA.
And so it was more of a passion than saying, hey, I saw Hoist Gracie beat up all these guys, and I want to make the money he makes. And
Yeah,
you know,
it was just a passion. And honestly, I it was just, yeah, like a extreme passion, just super interested, and just I was always like I want to see how good I can get. And that was the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, of course you want the money, you want people to know who you are in your sport, but I was just like I want to see how good I can get, and my focus was always I'm going to get as good as I can be, as good as I can get, and everything else will come. Like no matter what, you'll get the belts, you'll get all those things if you focus on how do I become more technical, how do I keep improving, how do I get better in this position. It's like I got better, now I need to get even better because people are figuring out how to beat that. So that's like it's like a chess game really, or just like a puzzle, whatever it is. That's what I love about martial arts the most. It's just a puzzle figuring everything out.
I mean, the evolution of the sport has been tremendous. Remember Hoist Gracie fighting, I don't know how many guys all at once, like one after the other, right?
Yeah.
And nobody knew much about ground fighting, or nobody, it was very different than it is
Yeah.
today, right? Everyone is a specialist today on every modality. So
Hmm.
you strike, you go ground game, you wrestle well, you got to know everything.
Yeah.
That
It's the
cage
hardest time,
closes,
but
yeah.
it's fun. What'd you say?
When the cage closes, it's only you inside, right?
Yeah.
and you don't want to lose because you don't know anything about ground jiu-jitsu or wrestling or anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Then you got into MMA. How was it getting into MMA? Like the first fight, were you already sparring enough that you felt comfortable, like in getting hit with a 6-ounce glove?
I think 4-ounce is what they are. Yeah. Yeah, it was honestly like, I think because I realized like I wanted to kickbox. I like kickboxing, but I wanted to try it all. You know, I've done a lot of the different rule set of kickboxing, Muay Thai, K1 rules, all those things. Um, American kickboxing, and then I'd done judo competitions and stuff like that. And then I was kind of like, you know, I want a chance to put it all together. Now I was sparring, but I actually didn't do MMA sparring a lot. I would kickbox spar, and then I would do my randori for judo. But I wasn't actually, I didn't train MMA until 2015 when I moved to Milwaukee to train at Rufus Sport. But I wanted to see how it would be, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, fuck it. It's like, let's do it, whatever. And like in my, how I looked at it was, I'm training the aspects of MMA. I'm just not putting it all together, but I'm doing the kickboxing, I'm doing the judo portion. So I was like, how hard can it be? It was hard. I wish I had a different mindset, but where I was in Virginia, there wasn't like super high level. Like there were some high level guys, like best gyms in the area, but it's not how it was when I like moved out to Milwaukee, where you have like a world renowned gym with so many fighters.
Yeah, Rufus Sport has Bilal, Brendan Allen, and some of the guys like that. Am I right?
Yeah. A lot of those guys used to be there. They're not there anymore, but those are, Bilal was training with him from 2015 until I moved. Brendan, Anthony Pettis, Sergio, Paul Felder, Gerald Meerschaert, Mike Biggie Rhodes, a lot of guys.
You sparred with them?
Yeah. We're on the mats daily. Yeah, all of them. And then other fighters who would come in and out, like Kevin Lee, he used to come and visit there. Would train with him. Tyron Woodley. So it was just a stable of high level guys.
Yeah. How was that for you? Because you said you were putting your game together, and suddenly you're with these pros, like very good pros.
It was tough at first, for sure. But I would have days where I was just like, what am I doing here? It's like, did I make a mistake? Like, what's going on?
It's like that kid, right, that said, I get beat up out of school, now I join jiu-jitsu, and I get beat up in jiu-jitsu as well. So
yeah, that's what it was. But I just dedicated majority of my day. When I wasn't working, I was on the mat. And I feel like because of that, I gained a lot of skill very quickly. And from going from it's like, oh man, I just get beat up all the time, to where it's like, oh, this guy's learning quick. And it's like, now he's harder to deal with. And I always had a thing where it's like, I feel like I always fought better than I actually trained. That you could see glimpses at a certain point early on. It's like, I'd be stiffer in training. I'd be stiff hitting the bag. But then when I'd go out and fight, it's like, people are like, where'd the stiffness go? So it was almost like reverse. And then eventually to a certain point where it's like, okay, I can do these things in training. Now let me show people what my full bag is when I get to the fight. So it was kind of weird, because I didn't have a crazy amount of experience in the ring, in the cage, because I was getting a lot of first round finishes and things of that nature. So it's like I always say, it's like my talent and my cage experience had to finally start to like meet up and rise together, instead of it's like talented, but my cage time was like very low.
Interesting. Because some people thrive in times of stress, right? So I mean, that's your case.
Yeah,
because normally
that's
it's the
definitely
opposite,
how I felt.
right? People train, they do really well, and then they go to a competition, and they get a little tight.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that. Yeah. So did you get hurt a lot with these guys? Because they had a lot of experience in fights under the belts.
Early on, I got hurt because of my own ignorance, not knowing how to train, not knowing where to go hard and when not to go hard. So a lot of times I would hurt myself because I didn't know positions. Like, doing jujitsu, if you're in a certain position, like if someone has your heel, you're in a heel hook, and you decide to try to rip the other way real strong, it's like they got that locked in. It's like the only thing you're doing is heel hooking yourself at that point. So not like I heel hooked myself, but just with that mentality of doing the wrong things at the wrong time sometimes would get me hurt. And I would rely on my athleticism. And, relying on that too much can get you messed up.
But were there times you had situations like maybe Strickland beat up on guys and,
Luckily, no, we didn't have any of that. Sometimes they would kind of teach me a lesson if I started going super hard, and it's like, all right, time to time to make them tone it down just a little bit. But they knew that it's like there was never any malice. It was just, I just didn't know better. And I didn't have like the control, because in practice I would be stiff. So, when you're stiff, it's like you might miss some, but when you land something, it's going to land hard. And that was part of my problem. So I had to learn how to be a better partner too.
So who helped you the most there out of these pros?
I'd definitely say Gerald Meerschaert and Mike Biggie Rhodes. Those guys helped me a lot. And then Bilal Muhammad. Those three definitely helped me tremendously.
I mean, these guys, Meerschaert has probably like 60 or 70 fights.
Right. He's got
crazy.
A lot of experience.
It's crazy. I mean, all those guys. Bilal is an outstanding fighter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's your style? What do you prefer? What are you best at?
Honestly, it's kind of just whatever the fight calls for, like there's nothing like beating somebody in anything. Like, I love outstriking somebody. I love throwing my hands, kicks, elbows, but it's also fun to take somebody down and completely maul them. There's no feeling like being on the ground with someone and be like, oh yeah, you're cooked. It's like you got nothing. So that's also fun. So it's like it's really truly like a hybrid mix. I love both. It's like, yeah, I can say I love hitting people a lot, but also if it calls for it, like I've had fights where I'm outstriking somebody and then all of a sudden I just shoot the takedown just cause, and it's like, no, we're here now. So it's like one of those things. I have more submissions technically. They have more submissions than I do knockouts, but technically some people would be like, oh, he's more of like a striker too.